everyone, and welcome to the first webinar of 2022 from the House of Muvi. My name is Aditya, and I'm the Corporate Communication Manager at Muvi, and I'll be your host today. Now, before we start, I would like to inform everyone that this webinar is being recorded and live streamed across our Facebook handle as well. I would request the audience to keep posting their questions in the Q&A chat only, and we'll address them at the end of the session. With this, I would like to take the opportunity to give you a quick overview about Muvi. Founded in 2011, Muvi is headquartered in New York and was founded with a vision to disrupt the global audio and video streaming market. Today, we stand as one of the leading players in the streaming platform service space, while a twist with time has led us to the development of over 9 products with several more in the pipeline. Of these 9 products, our key product Muvi One offers an end-to-end solution to launch your own customizable, agile, and scalable streaming OTT and live platform with zero coding. Now, we all know that the television industry has been quick to adapt to the recent push towards connectivity and compatibility, which is now becoming a standard in nearly all segments of consumer electronic industry. The global TV set unit shipments increased from 216 million units in 2015 to 218 million in 2019, but we saw a marginal decrease from 2020 due to the corona outbreak. Today, over 70% of TVs being sold around the world are smart TVs, allowing users to not only watch their favorite shows, but also access internet and download apps. The powerhouse running these devices is Android, which is also one of the largest operating systems in the mobile device industry. Now, these going statistics tell us that the smart TV revenue is expected to double by 2025, growing around from $30 billion in 2015 to around $67 billion in 2025. Now, with the ability to connect over to the internet and access content beyond what is available by normal cable providers, connected TV has grown popular among consumers. Connected TV, also popularly known as CTV, is digital content not only for smart TV but also accessible by apps and streamed over mobile or over-the-top devices. Among these, the leading connected TV platform is Roku, accounting to nearly 1/3 of the total global shipments at the start of 2019, followed by Amazon's Fire TV and Samsung Tizen. Now, these digital media devices allow users to stream content from a number of original channels, cable networks, entertainment apps, and third-party providers. Now, to give more information on this and help us understand the topic better, we have Jayant Sardana, Product Manager at Muvi. Now, Jayant joined Muvi amidst the pandemic last year in the product management team and is responsible for scaling and managing our mobile and TV applications. Always bringing a new perspective to the table, Jayant has a diverse experience in working on applications in the healthcare, agri-tech, tourism, and OTT industry. He has completed his bachelor's in technology with a specialization in information technology. Always up for new challenges, Jayant loves exploring new products and is obsessed with bringing delight to our users. With this, I would like to pass on the mic to Jayant and thank you for taking out to conduct this informative webinar. Thank you, Jayant. Now over to you.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for introducing the topic of today's webinar. Our title of the webinar is Build Your OTT Multiverse, or in simpler words, building and launching applications on different available platforms. Now, while Muvi has a built-in native set of applications that you can launch instantly, but on today's discussion, we'll majorly be focusing on what all choices are available and what is the right one to choose. And we'll also touch down to basics of building an application if you choose to build one. Coming down to the agenda of today's webinar, we'll first understand the different type of big screen devices. Big screen devices are devices that are supposed to be viewed at a distance of 5 feet or greater. Then we'll understand why it's important to bring your content to the big screen, following which we'll see the data that validates our assumptions. Then, since we have a lot of options, we'll understand what to choose and why, following which we'll again see the numbers of our assumptions. Then we'll understand the tech stacks or the technologies that go into building such applications. and the cost and timelines required. We'll also briefly discuss how you can publish an application on the App Store of different platforms. Then towards the end, we'll briefly discuss how Muvi can help. And towards the end, we'll have a short Q&A session. Now, there are multiple ways to categorize big screen devices, or in simpler terms, TVs. So connected devices, smart TVs, gaming consoles. This is what I chose, my choice of categorization today. This is based on the form factor and the technology that goes behind them. So first, we'll understand what are connected devices. Connected devices are devices that can be plugged into a TV or a monitor through a HDMI port. Now, the market leaders of this segment are Fire TV, Roku, with Apple TV catching up. Then LG, Samsung, these are leading TV manufacturers, and they have their own operating system, LG with LG's WebOS and Samsung with Samsung's Tizen. Android TV, I've added them in the smart TV category because a lot of new small TV manufacturers, they are natively using Android TV, and to summarize all of those manufacturers together, we have put in Android TVs under smart TV category. Then we have gaming consoles. Gaming consoles are mostly used for gaming on a big screen using a console, but since these are again smart, they can also run OTT applications. Why it's important to bring your content to big screen in 2022 and in the future? The content that you produce and you publish that looks best, even if you're a user, you'll prefer viewing your content on a big screen because the experience is unmatched. If you were to say watching a content on a small screen, and there is bound to be glare on a smaller screen, it's best if that content is watched on a bigger screen. More people are now watching content on a bigger screen. Growing market, every year we see significant gains in the viewing trends on a big screen device. And to give you a high level idea of this growth, every year the number is increasing. The viewing activity is increasing on a TV. Now we'll understand why the numbers. So 73%, that is more than double, half the market is owned by big screen devices. That is 73% of the content that's being watched is watched on a big screen. Now that is a huge number, and if you are a OTT provider or if you just watch content, you might want to reconsider your preconceptions that what devices are usually preferred by audiences. Now, we have understood that 73% of the market is covered by big screen devices. Out of those 73%, we have a lot of choices amongst those 73%. We'll understand what to choose and why. But before we go into that, it's important that the choices can differ based on your market, your audience, and your budget. So it's important to understand the need and your budget before you sit down to finalize your choice or preference of applications. Now, ideally, to maximize your reach, it's important to make sure that you are available on all possible platforms. But if you're working on a smaller budget, we would recommend that if you are available on a big screen along with web and mobile apps, because that adds a convenience factor to your audience. Now, let's take an example here. If I was watching a movie on my TV and I have to urgently move out somewhere, go grocery shopping or travel. Now, I was engrossed on a movie at my home on a big screen device that is my preferred medium for watching content. Now I decide to move out. So if the application is also available on a mobile device, it also I can easily switch to that and continue watching that content. Adds a convenience factor. Now, although all of this sounds good in theory, it's very challenging to launch on all of the devices together. We have a solution. We'll discuss the solution towards the end. Now, coming down to the what and why. So connected devices such as Roku and Fire TV, these are market leaders, not only in the connected device segment, in the entire big screen devices. They dominate the big screen market. Samsung and LG being the leading manufacturer not only of appliances, it makes sense that you have an application on them. Android TV, although relatively newer, is preferred by most smaller TV manufacturers and by most end users. So we have seen the highest growth percentage on a TV operating system, and if you want to be future proof, you should be on Android TV, or you should own an Android TV. Then we'll understand the numbers. So Roku is leading at 31%, majorly due to its reliability, the amount of contents that's available. Fire TV is following Roku at 17%. Samsung is leading LG at 12%, while LG and Android TV are 6% each. PlayStation, Apple TV, Chromecast, Xbox, all of these are at 5% viewing time share. And other smaller players such as Linux, TiVo, all of these together combined contribute 8% of the viewing time. Now, we have understood the choices available and what to choose and why. But before we move further, it's important to understand the technology or the tech stacks that are used to build these applications. Roku, we used Brightscript to develop Roku TV applications. Brightscript developers are in shortage, but even then, Roku has the most number of applications or channels, as they call them, majorly because they have their own developer console and because of their popularity. Then Fire TV runs Java, same as on Android TV. Apple TV runs Swift and Objective-C based applications. Chromecast has HTML5 applications. A small FYI, so Google has come up with a newer Chromecast that's known as Google TV, and that has Chromecast plus Android TV. This was introduced to compete with Fire TV and basically runs the Android application. Then we have smart TVs, LG WebOS, Samsung Tizen, both of them running applications built on HTML5, and Android TV, as discussed earlier, uses application built on Java. Gaming consoles, although they have a 5% share, adds a convenience factor if we are available on them. So these applications use C++ and C hash, while PlayStation uses the HTML5 application again. From the trends, we could understand that HTML applications are the most common. If you have a HTML5 application, you can be available on multiple platforms. That seems from the information what we have on our screen. But even then, we have to customize and tweak the applications according to each platform to make sure that our content is working perfectly and our applications are reliable. Now we'll move on to the cost and timelines it requires to build the application. Building applications for multiple platforms, that's a very resource intensive project and challenging at the very same time. So it will require significant time and capital, and the cost will vary based on the complexity, timeline available, and the development team. So based on all of these factors, the cost and the timelines will vary, but to give you a high level range, so the development cost per application ranges from $25,000 to $45,000, and this is just the one-time development cost. Any updates or maintenance would require further investment. Timelines 3 months to 1 year, and that's to launch the application. And all of this data is based on an assumption that you have all the backend services already available. Going live, so once we have the application ready and we have chosen what platform we want to go live on, we have done all of the hard work. Now comes the part wherein we make our applications readily available to the end users. Now, the publish process differs on each platform, slightly differs on each platform, but at a very high level, all of them require your app build, that is an application built on the tech stack that we discussed earlier. Along with that, they require some supporting information, that is certain basic information about your app, your company, and you. Then there's media assets, screenshots, app icons, logos. These are used to make your listing on the App Store and to make the app available on the device. Now, since we will be publishing content on these applications, we have to also provide the copyright information. Copyright information is a document given by the content owner that allows you to publish their content. If you are the owner of the content, it makes sense, or it is required to test and assign your application rights to publish that content. Ratings of the content available on the applications, the type of content you upload on the applications, based on that you have to provide a rating on the app form, and once you do that, your entire app is rated based on the inputs that you give. And you have to finalize the geographies you will be available on your application and you will be available on. So, and once you do all of that, the application is sent for review, and that review process can take from anywhere to 2 days to 3 months. That is usually based on the platform you are publishing the application to and the developer team experience. We can now see a flow diagram that summarizes the entire going live flow. So you create an account, or your development team creates an account on the native app store. Then they submit the application along with the supporting information that we discussed in the previous slide. Once we do that, the application is sent for review. Once the review process starts, the App Store team checks for any policy violation, and if they find any, they send the application back to stage 2. That is the submit stage. You have to resolve the issues and then submit the application again. This loop can take a lot of time if you're publishing the application for the very first time. If there are luckily no issues found on your application is ready to go live. Now, where do we or Muvi One comes in? So we can help you launch feature-laden, enterprise-level, white-labeled OTT apps within a day. We'll also provide you store-publish assistance, and with our decade of experience, we can get your application published in record time. We also provide maintenance and regular updates, meaning your applications will be future-proof and will be reliable. with a lot of technology coming in, keeping up with the new updates is a very humongous task, and we'll do that for you. With the flow diagram, we'll understand the entire flow of building an application using Muvi 1. So you sign up on Muvi 1, you upload the content. Once you have uploaded the content, you customize the applications and choose the template, banners, color schemes using the CMS. While it requires you to customize the application using the CMS, that's very simple. You can also set a monetization method, that is, earn money from your application. We support more than 10 monetization methods, subscription, PPV, and ads being the most popular one. Once you have set up the entire content and application, you just have to fill in and submit a small form that gives us the information to publish your application. Once that is done, we'll share a native app within 24 hours with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jayant. Now, before we move on to the Q&A session, I would request the audience to take a minute to answer a quick poll now coming onto your screens. If you can't see the poll, you can click on the poll icon at the bottom of your screen and answer the questions. Now, Jayant, while the audience is answering the questions, you were mentioning that you watch your preferred device to watch movie is your television, right? Your smart television. How many connected devices do you currently own that you use to access your content?
So Aditya, I have a smart TV in my living room that is running on Samsung's Tizen and has a Fire TV stick installed as a connected device. I am not that much of a gamer, so I don't have a Xbox or a PlayStation. And in my room, I have a TV running Android TV that's from a smaller manufacturer, and combined with it is a Roku stick. So I have 4 different type of devices.
4 devices, right? And which is your favorite one and why?
So I prefer Fire TV the most. The reason being, it's very easy to browse and view content. Roku, although I have it in my personal room and I use it the most, I still would prefer Fire TV. That's more of a personal choice.
Understood. And what kind of content do you usually browse on these devices?
Mostly movies focus on sci-fi or action, and sometimes comedy.
So a sci-fi buff, I would say.
Sci-fi, yes.
Great. Cool. I hope you have answered our poll. I would like to now open the forum for discussion. I would request the audience to please send in the queries in the Q&A chat only. I see a few questions. We appreciate you for taking out time today to attend this session. And as a small token of appreciation, we'd like to give out a small informative brochure for you to view later. The link of the handout is now on your screen. So Jayant, we'll start the Q&A session. The first question is coming up from a user audience in Facebook. The audience are asking that the global usage trend that we saw earlier, do they change significantly when we are focusing on a particular demographic or geolocation?
Aditya, the short answer here will be yes. The trends do change based on geolocations. For an example, Roku, although it's a market leader at a global scale, we still observe that in countries such as India, Asia, continents such as Asia, the reach of Roku is not that great. If we were to consider viewing trends in a particular geolocation, these will vary, but at a high level, if we were to consider only global, then these trends are valid, but at a certain geolocation.
Right. The second question is, can I have a single platform with the following business models? So an all-in-one platform. A, an entertainment part like Netflix, a television side like Roku, an e-learning side like LinkedIn Learning, and an audio platform like Spotify.
So, based on the based on my understanding of the question, I believe the user is asking about launching a super application.
Yeah.
Correct. So, super applications, they are becoming a trend now. But if your business suggests that it makes sense to launch a super application, definitely we can have a super application.
Right. The next question is what are the initial startup cost? How much would they cost to start an OTT platform?
The startup cost, if you were to use Muvi's system, the startup cost will be significantly lower. And if you were to build an application, the approximate cost could be somewhere around $1 million.
All right. The second question is again coming up from a user from Facebook. He says that I found Movies offering quite attractive and I'm considering to launch an OTT application for local cable operators. But since they're at an initial stage, they would need to validate the audience's response. Is it possible to track user behavior using Movie? And if yes, how?
Okay, so on the CMS that you will be using to publish the content request for Apple is basically your backend for the applications that also has an analytics section. You can track the user behavior and all relevant information within that analytics section. Supposingly, if that analytics session is not enough for you, we also provide services that can be integrated with any third-party tool. But most of our customers are happy with the analytics session that we have.
Right. The second question is how can you help entry-level content creators to big screen concentrations?
So entry-level content creators, if they have a budget, they can choose to build an application, while Movies offering can get them live on a very smaller budget. And since it's a monthly subscription, they can pay out the amount at a monthly basis, as in when you get your earnings. The other alternative is you publish your content on already available applications, that is platforms like YouTube.
Right.
These applications are already available on big screen devices, and that will effectively make your content available on a big screen device.
Sure. A user is asking, as a startup, how many employees would you typically need to build, maintain, and program an OTT app?
As a startup?
Yeah.
So let's suppose that they want to be available on most platforms. So 7 developers for big screen devices, 2 for mobile, and supposedly 6. So 6 plus 2 plus 7. That's the number that you're looking at to start.
Right. The next question is, would it be able to surpass the legacy method of broadcast?
Short answer, yes.
Sure. Next question is, which countries are Roku and Fire TV available, and how much is it to set up with Movie? I think many of the users are asking similar questions on the pricing of Movie.
I think the pricing will be available on the brochure that we are sharing, but the application start at $299 per application.
Sure. The next question is, for a super application that you mentioned earlier, is that out of the box or a custom development?
Our applications that we provide as a standard, they are built such in a way that can support content of different formats. Although the super app, if you can work with our available templates, that can be done without a custom development. But let's suppose your use case is very different from what we offer, and you cannot work with our existing template. You will have to go forward with a custom development.
Right. The next question is it possible for, to post ads on these applications? Can I host your own ads like YouTube?
Yes. So all of our platforms supports AVOD, that is advertisements. All of our platforms do so. Yes. Short
Right.
answer, yes. Again.
And the same same user is asking if it's possible for those ads to have an automatic auction bidding.
Option bidding.
Yes, auction.
I am not very sure of that answer, but if there's a third party that can be integrated with our solution that's already running AVOD, I believe we can do it. But we'll have to do a small feasibility to understand what goes into building an application running auctions, advertisements running auctions.
Right. A very interesting question is, are customer interactive applications supported? Can users interact with programming via remote or via a separate website?
Come again, please.
Are customer interactive applications supported? Can customers interact with the application? I think while Netflix has launched its interactive movies, something like that.
Okay, so we have a lot of features that can be used to add an interactivity element to the video content that's being streamed. For an example, you can add polls to your video content. You can add a small quiz to the video content. So I believe the answer again will be yes, you can add interactivity to the content that you publish.
Nice. The next question is, Roku appears to be a market leader, but it uses Brightscript for app development, which is not very widely used. And then how is it so popular?
Aditya, so in the OTT industry or in the streaming industry in general, content is king. If there's a lot of content available, users will migrate. So Roku has the maximum number of applications, or as they call them, channels, around 8,000, and that number keeps on increasing. Combine that with user an intuitive experience, easy to use and reliable, that makes them very popular. Even though Brightscript developers are limited, they provide a developer console that you can use to publish applications with zero coding, but those applications are very basic and they don't have even the basic features. Although Roku is working on improving that developer console, but that will take a lot of time.
Sure. The next question is, are you planning to add ad pods to your AVOD solution? Ad pod means back-to-back ads.
Yes, that's in our roadmap.
Sure. And for AVOD, do you plan on supporting time-based ad insertion, not just pre, mid, and post?
Yes, again, that's also in our roadmap.
Sure. Another question is, how do you support fast, advanced at the server side ad insertion and the solution to integrate with closed captions and video stream?
I think our ads PM or someone from the ads team can answer this question better. I am not suited well enough to answer this question. Aditya, I would recommend this user to get in touch with you or someone from Muvi to get a detailed answer to this question.
Absolutely. The next question is live streaming possible? For instance, could one launch an app such as Twitch with multiple live streams?
Yes. We have a product known as Muvi Live, and that can be integrated with our native default applications. And once that integration is done, the content can be live streamed.
Right.
Multiple contents can be live streamed together.
Absolutely. Another user is asking, do platforms like Roku and Amazon Fire TV provide ads for us, or do we have to find ads?
So Roku has an ad engine. Fire TV also has an ad engine, but most of our customers use third-party solutions and integrate them with our applications to provide ads, because they have a certain threshold that needs to be achieved to have advertisements.
Sure. The next question: does Muvi support server-side adaptation or just-in-time packaging like features? I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
The next question is it possible to earn off from other people's content?
Yes. So most of our customers, they are actually using third-party content on their applications, but they usually purchase that content. Any content that's not purchased or pirated, we don't recommend doing that on our platform.
Sure. Another user is asking, how does Muvi help in customizing monetization models?
So the default monetization methods that we have available, that monetization method module is very powerful. We are so confident in our monetization models that we have built a separate product for it known as Muvi Billing. Let's suppose that you are amongst the 2 to 3% customers that need something different from our existing monetization methods. We can add in a rule for you that can solve your use case.
Sure. We'll just answer a few last questions and we'll close the webinar. The question is, latency is a big concern in OTT streaming nowadays. How can we mitigate or reduce the latency to make this solution robust for video delivery?
So if you were to use Muvi's applications, we've already solved this problem for you. That is, we've minimized the latency. To minimize the latency, if you were planning to build an application, we just have to make sure that we encode the content properly. And once we encode the content, that content delivery is taken care of.
Right. And the last question is, can you help us purchase content? I guess with our partners, yes, we can.
Yes. So we also have a concept known as content partner. If you do not own content, but you'd like to hire people or be a partner with people that own content, you can launch a platform and have a content partner section on your website. Content partners will simply sign in as a content partner, and then they can start uploading content. You as an admin will get a certain revenue that you decide based on the content that they are uploading.
All right. We'll just answer the last question, last two questions. What is the latency that is expected for getting the sports live content to viewers?
Anything that's less than 30 milliseconds.
Sure. Yeah. And the last question is, can you integrate third-party SDKs with Muvi, like VR enabling or IoT enabling?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, Jan, thank you so much for answering these questions. This brings us to end of today's session. I would like to thank everyone once again for giving us this opportunity to bring you more such informative and value-adding webinars. Please stay tuned to our various social media channels for more content and to track industry disruptive innovations and to keep your market approach updated to the T. Thank you from the House of Muvi. Until next time.